What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Flight Time Podcast. This is episode number 17, and today we're going to be talking about why we need an American drone company.
I think that I titled it, I was the one that came up with the title. I wanted to title it Why We Need an American Drone Company, but at the end of the day, the whole entire theme of this podcast should be why we need competition in the drone space. But something that makes me kind of think like it should specifically be an American company is because of the tariffs. The reason I came up with this topic is because I was on Bill the Drone Reviewer's live stream about a week ago now, and we talked about this. And Ken, right after I got off that live stream, I wanted to be like, yo, let's film a podcast right now, because I was fuming. Like, I felt like I had so much that I wanted to say. And one thing that I said was, an American company needs to make drones, and somebody in the live stream through the chat said nobody wants to take on the Goliath of DJI. But if you think about it, somebody in America who is going to be making drones has two things on their side, especially for the American consumers. First of all, no tariffs, and second of all, people just like buying American. People like buying American-made products. People especially love buying American-made drones. I think that might be a reason why Apple is so popular, because they're American. They're an American company. Now, they make a lot of their products over in China, but still, as I sit here and I think about it, man, they would have two things on their side, and they really could do some damage to DJI's presence in America.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think a lot of people have a misconception when it comes to like companies like Autel. They believe Autel is an American company because their support is based here, but the reality is the design and the manufacturing of those drones are in China, and we really don't. I mean, we've had a couple of companies, emerge, but they've been relatively quiet, or they're building, cinematographer drones, things that aren't really geared towards a consumer, though.
Yeah, and where I know X Dynamics is an American company, right? And where are their drones made?
Okay, so X Dynamics also is not a necessarily American company. Their drones are made in China as well.
Makes sense.
So I forgot what one of the things I asked Maury when I had him on a live show was, is it an American company? And it was sort of a convoluted answer. It's built in a province of China that's not technically governed by, I don't know. He gave me an answer, but the reality is it's still not an American company. So it just doesn't look like we would, that would be what we're looking for. But I'm actually looking at a company right now. It's called FreeFly. And I'm trying to find it, but I believe they are an American drone company. They build a lot of cinematography drones, and their drones are actually really cool.
What is it's FreeFly, right?
Yeah, FreeFly.
Like the Alta drone?
Yeah, the Alta.
Dude, the Alta drone is sick. They just came out with that new one. I totally forget what the name of it is, but the top speed of the drone is like 88 miles an hour.
85 miles per hour.
85, wow, dude.
It's insane.
I mean, you've got the Inspire 2. That thing can push 64 if you get a nice tailwind, but 88, could you imagine? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's honestly a bullet, and yeah, they're just cool drones, and I believe that they are custom order drones. So like when you order an Alta drone, they assemble it for you in house. So like basically all their drones are not put together ready to ship. You tell them what you want, and they're modular, and then they build it to spec for you and then ship it, which is pretty cool. But I mean, these are like $20,000-$30,000 drones.
Exactly.
Just the drone themselves, no camera, because your camera is going to be retrofitted after the fact. You tell them what type of camera system you're running, whether it's Sony, Red, whatever, and then they're going to build the drone to spec around your camera, which is, again, pretty darn cool. But not everybody's going to want to drop $20,000 on a drone.
Well, it's such a niche product that I wouldn't expect them to build these things and leave them on the shelves for people to buy, especially like leaving them in their warehouse. So it makes sense that they would kind of build them as they come in. It almost sounds like Tesla, even though I guess Tesla probably has some new inventory. It's like once you build it online, you send it to Tesla, then they're going to build the car that you want. And we're kind of seeing this with Apple with their Mac Pro. Did you see that?
Yeah, so their Mac Pro is going to be modular as well, and it's going to be the same situation.
So
when you order the computer, they'll put it together.
And Yes, that's true, but I'm also talking about how it's going to be made here in America.
Well, that part, yeah. I mean, you got to figure they had to.
Yeah.
They had to, and eventually I'm sure it'll even trend over to the iPhones as well, where we will see more production, and I guess output from the States. I think Foxconn made an investment in Wisconsin somewhere, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yeah. They're supposed to be opening a plant here in America, and it's a Foxconn plant where the Apple iPhone's going to be assembled. So
Well,
I'm not sure if that was pre-tariff, by the way.
that is interesting. DJI, I think we've talked about this in a previous podcast episode, and people might have seen this like just online, but DJI had also been talking about bringing their production over to the United States. They were talking about starting up a factory, but it wasn't for the consumer drones. It's for like government agencies that want to purchase DJI drones. It probably makes them feel better that they were made, built, assembled in the United States. But I mean, that drone still probably talks to China. It's still on the same servers.
But I mean, it could be. I guess we'll never really know what exactly is happening.
Yeah, but look, dissecting those 2 points, right? The fact that DJI, the tariffs and also an American-made product. So in terms of the tariffs, man, we made a whole entire episode about this. I know that for the most part, pretty much everybody knows about these tariffs. It's insane
100.
how high the prices went for some of these products, especially the Mavic 2 now being $17, $29, $49, whatever it is. I mean, that is expensive.
Yeah, no, it definitely is, and the reality is, again, these tariffs are hitting for about 30%, and there's a mixed bag, and I don't want to get into it too far on that end of things, but the reality is we need to see somebody emerge, and we had somebody at one point. We had GoPro entered the market. They were sort of the dark horse, and everybody wanted a GoPro drone. I mean, it would just make sense. GoPro made an amazing camera, and at the point when GoPro entered the market, DJI was just shifting over from like the Phantom 2s, which were still sort of using, like, they had GoPro gimbal mounts and things like that. And then you had 3DR, which was creating drones and utilizing GoPro cameras for their drones as well. So it just made sense, and we all wanted it. We were hoping for it, and then it came, and it just completely flopped. And I don't feel like GoPro really gave it a full-fledged effort. I felt like they could have did more. They could have did better. They failed, and they were just like, you know what, we're just not going to do it again. I don't know. I felt like that was a bit of a lackluster try.
I would love to see a world where DJI didn't release the Mavic Pro, and the GoPro Karma had been like the first folding drone for maybe 6+ months. And also, I guess, just to throw in there an even more wild scenario where they didn't have the battery issue where it came popping out. I mean, I sit there and I wonder, I think they could have had a serious shot to make a really great drone and to make a really great presence in the drone market. The biggest thing for me that just totally kills it is the wideness, like the fisheye effect that comes from their cameras. And I know that you can change to like linear and the regular or whatever, the different shooting modes in the GoPro, but still, that's just not for me. I like the fixed camera. I like the field of view that it has. And one of the biggest things I really like about the Mavic is the fact that you can switch between the high quality and the full field of view mode. It's almost like you have two different lenses on one drone, and all you got to do is tap a button to switch between them. It's such a great idea.
No, and it is a great idea, and I just think that they need to offer something a little bit more for the people that aren't about that. They don't want that type of camera. And I mean, there's a lot of people that don't really want that type of field of view. They don't want that type of look out of their camera. I'm one of those people. I'm not really a big fan of that distortion. I'm not a big fan of that, stretched out, skewed look. If they can just offer something more, and I mean, maybe we will. Maybe we will get something like that here on, the first. Maybe there'll be something that will appease the people that weren't a big fan of that. We'll have to wait and see. But supposedly the GoPro Hero 8 is supposed to come out. But still, I feel like they were one of the best shots at an American company succeeding at a drone, but with all the I guess issues the Karma had, and then obviously with the Mavic coming out and the Mavic being way more portable, it just it didn't give it a good fair shake.
I mean, the Mavic was almost what, like 1/4 the size of the Karma when it was folded up. I mean, it wasn't even close. The size difference was insane. And
it was crazy.
You bring that up about how GoPro is coming out with this product, the Hero 8. I've seen the leaks. I've seen the rumors or whatever. It looks pretty cool. I won't lie. But where are GoPros like manufactured? Is it in China?
I don't think it's China. I thought it was here. Like, I thought it was in North America, possibly even Mexico. I thought they built a plant over there. And I mean, okay, so I'm not saying, building something over the border is much better, but it's closer. It's obviously it's not China. I mean, it seems to be a good compromise, in a sense. And I mean, I don't know. That's just sort of my take on it. But I mean, the reality is the biggest problem is anytime you start manufacturing here in the States, the cost is going to go up. I mean, that's just it. Nobody wants to pay a lot, but then everybody wants to complain that things aren't manufactured here in the States. So it's sort of like a catch-20. It's sort of a catch-22, and it's like that old saying: you cannot have your cake and eat it too. You're either okay with paying a heavy cost because it's manufactured here, or you are going to compromise and have it built in some country like Mexico, where obviously things are, the economy is an entirely different ballgame. So, but we need a manufacturer to rise up. But 3DR, or not 3DR, Skydio. So Skydio's got a drone that's going to be coming out. But I think even there, I don't think that's actually assembled in the States. That's another case study.
I don't know if any of these electronics are, man. I'm looking here at GoPro stock. Do you know what it's sitting at right now?
No idea.
$4.47 per share. Now with this drone or with this new camera coming out, it could do something beneficial for them. They opened up back in 2014 at $35.76 per share. They peaked almost a year later in 2014 at about $83 a share, and now they're down to $4 per share. So I mean, look, I think that smartphones are really hurting GoPro because, like, what do you need a GoPro for when you have such a great camera in your phone?
I agree with that. I just went to Skydio's website.
Okay.
I wanted to see, if I can get more information on like where they were built. Can't even click anything.
What?
So if you go to Skydio.com, it just says, if you're thinking of buying a drone, wait, we've got something new coming this fall. And you literally can either click on YouTube, click on their social links, you can log in, or you can go to their support center.
It's almost just a landing page here, basically.
Yeah, and the R1 is out of stock.
Yeah, it's almost like a landing page here, almost like a cover page if anybody's used to using like Squarespace. Yeah. It's pretty interesting. So I'm looking at this photo right now. What do you make of that photo of the drone?
In looking at it, it doesn't look like it's gonna fold.
But dude, that looks like it's just a small little camera that sits on the top of the drone or something. That in my eyes,
no, it definitely looks something like a sensor or something. I mean, it almost looks like a little knobby antenna. It's hard to really see though. It's hard to really tell. It's weird looking.
I'm excited for what this Skydio drone can bring. I wish here, rather than just saying we've got something coming out this fall, they gave us a better date to go off of, like maybe a month.
I'm excited, but I'm not excited because I think what's going to happen is there's going to be so much hype, and I'm going to steal a terminology that John Prosser just threw out there. And he said, it's like waiting for a baby. The baby, everybody's like, what's the baby's name? What's the baby's name? The baby finally comes, the baby's finally born, and somebody shoots the baby. It's like, that's what's going to happen here. They're just going to ruin this. They're going to ruin this. That's inevitably what is going to happen here. They're going to drop the ball on this because that's just the way things have happened lately. I hate to be that negative person, but that's just the way releases have gone recently. It's like it's so predictable and they ruin it somehow.
I know. And look at this. It's like when I connect with people online about drones and people DM me or I'm talking to other people online, I'll hear people say, oh, I fly the Mavic. Oh, I fly the Mavic 2. I fly the Spark. I fly the Autel Evo. I fly the Paradinafi. I've even heard of people flying the Unique. But how many people have you heard say, I fly the Skydio R1? Like
Zero.
How many people are like, oh, yeah, I went out and bought the Skydio? I think
the last time I saw a Skydio was when I was in New York with you, and it was chasing around Xavier. That was the last time I saw. That was the first and last time I've ever saw a Skydio.
Exactly, me too. And all the only videos that I saw on YouTube about the Skydio were ones like promoting it, where Skydio had obviously given the drone out.
Let me ask you a question. Every time you've ever seen a video on a Skydio, what is it doing? It's following somebody.
Yeah.
It's nothing of interest. It's I don't know. I just never found it wildly interesting.
Look,
cool product, cool tech, way too expensive for what it is.
Look, if it doesn't have a remote controller, it's just not even going to be on my radar. It needs a remote controller.
Yes, it needs to do more. It doesn't even have to be professional. You know what I mean? It's just got to be cool enough to be able to make, interesting content.
Yeah, I
mean I don't know.
Whenever I would say to people, people would say, what do you think of the Spark? Should I get the Spark? I would say yes, but also get the remote controller, because without the remote controller, why would you even fly it? Just like the Mavic Pro. You could fly that original Mavic Pro with just your smartphone. I don't think I ever took advantage of that option. Like there's no point in time where I was like, yeah, I want to use my smartphone to fly this thing.
No, never. I personally, I hate ever flying any drone with a smartphone solely, just because it was an absolutely terrible experience. You couldn't see, it was laggy, there was delays. But this is what makes me nervous when it comes to new releases this year. This year, 2019, I feel has been a horrific year when it comes to technology, just in general. I just feel like, I don't know, this is the year of compromise.
Well, all right, so we talked about tariffs, and that's an obvious. Like, people want to save money when they buy a drone, and if I could buy the same drone made by an American manufacturer who's building it here for less, like if there was a Mavic 2 Pro competitor from an American company, I would have to weigh my options and get an understanding of what the difference is in terms of the features, the performance, and whatever. But if we're comparing apples to apples here, I would go with the less expensive option. And just to support competition, I would love to. I would buy a product and say kind of that I'm investing in that company, because buying their product obviously helps them down the road. But also, people just love buying American-made products who live in America, and you see this. This is huge. This is huge with cars. I remember driving up to Michigan with my old roommate Alex, and he was like, "Yeah, when we get up into Michigan, you'll barely see any foreign cars," and it was true. I mean, that's where all of the automotive plants were building Fords, building Chryslers, whatever, right? And when you drive through there, you rarely see a Toyota or a Hyundai or whatever. It's always an American-made car.
But that was always my philosophy as well. I mean, I own 2 Chevys, and that's all I've ever bought and owned is GM.
Yeah,
I don't buy anything else.
My mom drives a Toyota. I understand that for the reliability. And my dad has just always, same thing, been American cars. Kind of jumped around. I have a Ford. I've had a Ford for the past 5 years that I've been driving. And dude, I think I'm sorry to interrupt here, guys, but there's a train that runs near my house, and I think it just got into an accident.
What?
I don't even know if that's possible. Actually, when I was younger, I was on a train that derailed because it hit a log truck.
I remember your mom telling us the story about that.
Yes.
Throw you underneath the seat.
Dude, the noise that just came from the train tracks doesn't sound like a good noise. I can say that.
Can you see the train track from where you're at?
I would have to get up and walk to the other side of the building, but usually I don't hear it, and I heard it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because you have a lot of train tracks here. Hopefully that's not the case, though.
I know. I feel like train tracks are the worst. Like they're probably behind airplanes, but a train crash. I mean, one of the cars crashes, the whole thing is getting derailed.
Oh yeah, it's going down.
But anyway, my dad now, he drives GMC. So, in America, everybody loves to buy American-made products. They love to support the country. They love to support the economy. And when you're buying a DJI product, you're buying Chinese. You're buying a Chinese product. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
It leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. I mean, we see it all the time.
It's one of the most, I guess, commented things on my channel. So many people are always talking about how they won't buy from DJI because they're an American manufacturer. And then just like you were talking about, they go and they say, I'm going to buy an Autel drone because they're based out of America. When, what does Autel also make? They make car software, right?
So yeah, Autel makes Autel scanners. Autel drones is a division of Autel Automotive, which does like all their, their scanners. So, I mean, they're a larger organization, but even them, they are based out of Shenzhen, and all of their, all the drones are coming out of there. They've based their support here. And what's odd is they only sell to the States, which I find, they're still not doing international distributor.
Huh.
I mean, maybe they've opened that up, but the last time I've checked, they still were not distributed to, any other countries. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've followed up with it, but yeah. I mean, even them, I mean, that's honestly right now, like if you ask me, what's our best bet for like competition to DJI, and we don't have an American company really per se, but they're in the closest striking distance, if you ask me.
What do you mean?
Even with one product line, Autel, as far as somebody who can compete quality, come as close as you can to a DJI experience without being DJI, it's Autel.
Yeah, and
that's just my opinion on
it. They have the essence of being an American company, but then you look at it and you see their products have also increased from the tariffs. So they're obviously coming from China.
It's like drinking almond milk. It's not really milk. It sort of tastes like milk, but it's actually almonds.
I'm lactose intolerant, so that just messes me up any which way or the other.
I know. I'll be sipping on a milkshake and you're like, I can't do it, dude. I can't do it.
I know. It's a real pain, but sometimes you got to just like time it out properly to the point where, you're going to be home later so you can grab a milkshake.
It's cool, man. It usually prevents me from getting one.
So
I just don't know. What's gonna be interesting is, I know Airworks is going on this week, and I was hoping we would see some other companies hopefully have some announcements. It seems like every time Airworks is going on, there's always some other company that's trying to steal thunder or take the spotlight off of that event. It happens every year. We'll hear like leaks or rumors, and I didn't hear anything. Nothing. Not anything from any company.
So yeah, no other company, but there was a pretty big presentation on the new P4 multispectral. Also, they showed off the new T16. That's their agriculture spraying drone, I guess, like their flagship, so to speak. So
they're really getting a lot of mileage out of that P4 chassis.
Dude, so you know what? I really want to save Airworks talk for like a Friday episode. So
yeah, that'll be Friday's episode. We'll definitely revisit that.
Yeah, because
we'll definitely revisit that.
Talking about Airworks would be pretty cool. I mean, they opened up the first day with a really good amount of stuff. I was gonna go to Airworks. It just didn't really work out because it's like from Tuesday to Thursday. That means I'd have to miss a full week of school. So
yeah,
it didn't work out. I'd love to be there. But again, I mean, we're getting a lot of information from there, and we're definitely going to be able to make a podcast episode because that would be pretty cool to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. I've just been, while we've been on this podcast, I've been trying to research American-made drones, and there was one other company that popped up, which was called, and I talked about them a long time ago, Teal Drone.
Dude, I knew you were going to say it. I knew that's what you were going to say.
Yeah, because they actually popped up, but they were ridiculously outlandish, overpriced disaster.
Is it teal, like TEAL, like the color?
Yeah, just how you would think it sounds is how it is. It's called Teal Drones.
It says they're closed.
And yeah, they're
what I mean. I've never heard of them. What do they make? I'm looking at it right now. That actually looks kind of cool.
I mean, it looks like a little Spark.
You know what it looks like? It looks like a big Tello. It looks like a big Tello.
Yeah, actually, it does look like a Tello.
I remember I had the Tello. The one thing that I always tell people about is that I was reviewing it, flying it, whatever, outside. And it was a little bit of a windy day. I guess it was like coming into fall. So, when you get into fall, it gets windier. And my neighbor was pulling in. So I kind of turned my back from the drone. And I was like, oh, hey, how are you? For, 5 seconds. I turned back around and the drone is no longer there. I look probably 100 feet down the street and the wind had taken the drone all the way down the street. So after that, I knew that the Tello was an inside drone.
You're an indoor only drone.
Yeah, there's no flying that thing outside.
Wow, actually, so it looks like this teal company, they're still in business, funny enough, and they make two different types of teal drones. They have the teal one, the teal sport, and if you click on the teal sport, they have the racer, and then they have the freestyle, and it's like this ridiculous looking modular drone. You can actually build one, for less than what they initially came to market on.
Teal
and it
sport.
looks pretty darn cool, man.
All I see on here is a radar gun saying 73 miles an hour. I'm in.
I mean, this is actually sort of cool. You can buy different arms, so they have like the teal freestyle arms. Then you buy the quick swap batteries. Their batteries are $44, not bad. They have an ESC, and then you literally just buy all the components, like everything you need. You just buy.
Yeah, I've you know what? I would love to do a little bit more research on this later, because it looks all right.
Yeah, it sort of seems like that, but they're an American company. It says out of the box. 80 plus miles per hour FPV out of the box.
That's insane.
That's 80 miles an hour. You had me.
I know, but it's not going to be stable footage. That's what I'm looking for.
No, definitely not. I keep clicking buy and it's not letting me buy.
You've been talking about getting into FPV a little bit. Also,
I have.
Also, you've been talking about getting an Inspire too. Are you going to pull the trigger?
I actually don't have to right now. So Zach, he's moving down here, and he has an Inspire 2 that has actually just been sitting. He hasn't used it, and he says, he goes, why don't you just, you use my Inspire 2? Because he's like, I'm not using it. He goes, because I'm expecting something new that we can play with. He's like, so just use mine. So he's actually just shipping it down to me.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it, because that would be fun, flying 2 Inspires.
I won't get to keep it. It's not gonna be like mine. I'm just gonna be using it because he doesn't use it for anything. He uses his M210, so he's just like, just use my Inspire.
Does he fly for fun? I don't think he does, right?
I don't think he honestly flies just for business only. Business only. Like anytime he's in the air, it's because he's working, he's making money.
It makes sense. It's like once you get a taste of the money, you just can't stop.
I can respect that.
I know. So this episode kind of acted as a follow-up episode to the previous episode where we talked about the maintenance on drones. And the real reason I think that these photos or these topics correlate is because when you think of Chinese, you don't think of the best made products. And that could be another reason why American-made products could shine. Now, you could look at some certain American companies. I know that in the past, car companies especially used a lot of plastic. People thought that they were inferior to the foreign cars. So maybe somebody could think, well, these American drones coming out, they could be even less reliable than DJI. But we're looking at, about a year on the Mavic 2s, and we already see these batteries swelling, and I'm noticing some problems with mine aside from the battery. So
I don't know if you saw it.
What's that?
Today in the group. So we must have caused the chain reaction, but in that New York City group that we're in, all of a sudden, a lot of other people came forward about there's a stack of batteries. I don't know if you saw the stack of batteries. People, they were giving Xavier their batteries, showing photos of all their batteries swollen, and I get it. A year's a long time, a lot can happen. I don't want to rehash that again. I got into it with DJI yesterday again over that, but still, I feel like maybe the technology, because I look at phone batteries here, Apple iPhone, constantly charging it, different elements, and I don't have issues like that. So
it's weird.
Somebody's got to come up and challenge.
Yeah, it's weird because
quality.
It's weird because it's not like a single person with a couple batteries. It's like a lot of people are dealing with this issue.
Yeah, and honestly, it just doesn't make much sense, man. It really doesn't.
So look, if an American company comes out, I think that they've got a really great shot for 3 reasons. Tariffs, they can skirt the tariffs. Also, quality, reliability. I think that at the end of the day, made in China sometimes is not the best. And if we get a really well-made American drone, because they don't have to deal with the tariffs, they could put more money into making quality parts, maybe sell it for the same price as the Mavic 2 or something, maybe even a little bit less. And you've got a home run right there. And obviously people in America love to buy American made products. There's people, I kind of consider myself, I don't really mind where it comes from. At the end of the day, I like to buy the best that's out there. And right now the best that's out there is DJI, but I would definitely give an American company a shot because first of all, I'm from America, and I think that it would be cool to actually have an American drone company. And also, not to mention, I think that if there was an American drone company making quality products, the government, the police forces, and everybody would jump on it immediately. They all are looking to add drones to their repertoire, to add it to their police force, to their firehouse. They're looking to add these drones in. And if you can be an American company, it's almost like a given that these agencies will turn to you. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can see that. I mean, it's one of those things that I guess it's a wait and see, as to what's going to happen. But I mean, obviously, DJI is taking the right steps to make sure that they put themselves in a position to be able to help, the police force here and the government with obviously some of their concerns over privacy and things like that by building here. We'll have to wait until that actually starts taking over and starts going. But I don't know. It's definitely interesting. I'm just sort of a wait and see. I mean, we still have, 3 more months before January. Then CES is going to roll around, so maybe something will pop off before now.
Yeah, I'm also wondering. I'm wondering we saw some leaked photos of that Mavic Mini that people are saying. And that looks like a perfect drone to release around the holidays. So I don't know if they do like some huge event for it like they do for the Mavic 2s and stuff like that. Which, man, dude, it seems like forever since we've been to like an event, which feels weird. But again, I don't know if they do a huge event for it, but that seems like the perfect drone to release during the holidays. It should be priced right. It's great to give to kids. It's great to give to adults who are looking to start. So I don't know. Who knows what we'll see. Again, it's like every single time that we talk about what's coming next, it's like, who knows? There's really no reason to talk about it. And just like you said, they continue to reuse this Phantom chassis. How much longer are we going to see that? But we'll save that for the next episode. So, Ken, anything else you want to say?
No, I think that is it, man. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, guys, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check us out on all of these streaming platforms. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We're hosting through Spreaker, so you can listen to us on Spreaker. We're also over on SoundCloud and, of course, on YouTube. Anyway, guys, we will catch you next Friday.
We'll see you next Friday.